So you don't know what a delta is, you think DRS might be a crypto coin, and you still call it a car race. Perfect, you're exactly who this video is for. Welcome to Formula One for Dummies, the only guide that explains the world's most chaotic, high-speed soap opera without making you feel like you need an engineering degree or a Monaco address. We're breaking down fast cars, faster egos, and billion-dollar strategy fails in a way that actually makes sense. So buckle up, and it's lights out and away we go. So what is Formula One? Just rich guys turning left at 200 miles per hour with a side of drama? Close. Imagine if you took billion-dollar engineering, put it on wheels, tossed in some egos the size of Texas, and let it all loose at 200 miles an hour in 23 different countries. That's Formula One. It's fast, it's loud, and it's somehow both a high-tech science experiment and an international drama series. And no, it's not just cars going in circles. It's a chaotic, tire-squealing ballet of precision, money, and memes. Now let's take it from the top with a whirlwind tour of how this all started. Back in the 1950s, F1 was less sport and more survival challenge. Drivers wore goggles, the cars had no seatbelts, and finishing a race without catching fire was considered a win. Then came legends. Fangio, who won 5 titles while chain smoking, Senna, the genius with a heart of gold and steel nerves, and Schumacher, the ruthless German perfectionist. Then the sport evolved. The cars got faster, the safety got better, the drama only got juicier. And now we're here. Hybrid tech, billion-dollar budgets, and more data on a race weekend than NASA during a shuttle launch. So who are the brave lunatics trusted to handle these monsters? Well, you don't just walk into F1 like it's a job fair. These drivers start karting before they can even spell downforce. From there, it's a brutal ladder. Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2. And then, if you've got talent, money, connections, or a famous racing dad, you might get an F1 seat. It's a world where 1,000 kids dream and maybe one gets the golden ticket. Oh, and if you're a Ferrari Junior, just prepare for heartbreak. That's the tradition. So let's meet the grid, the people legally allowed to drive missiles for a living. Who are these gladiators and which battle colours do they wear? Let's take a quick roll call and meet the incredible talent that is expected to make up the Formula One 2025 season and which team they are racing for. We've got 10 teams, each with 2 drivers. First up, at Red Bull Racing, we've got the reigning champ Max Verstappen alongside the talented Liam Lawson. Over at the legendary Ferrari, it's the dynamic duo of Charles Leclerc and the 7-time world champion himself, Lewis Hamilton. Talk about a dream team. For Mercedes, we'll see George Russell paired with the highly anticipated rookie, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Rocking the papaya orange at McLaren are the formidable Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, a pair that's really shaking things up. Then there's Aston Martin with the evergreen 2-time champion Fernando Alonso, joined by Lance Stroll. At Alpine, we have Pierre Gasly, and he'll be joined by Jack Doohan. Moving on to Williams, it's the solid Alexander Albon alongside the exciting new arrival Carlos Sainz. Over at the sister team to Red Bull Racing Bulls, it's Yuki Tsunoda and Isaac Hadjar hitting the track. Then we've got Sauber, who are set to become Audi in 2026, so keep an eye on them, featuring the experienced Nico Hülkenberg and young gun Gabriel Bortoleto. And finally, rounding out our grid at Haas, we'll see Esteban Ocon paired with the promising Oliver Bearman. Red Bull is the team to beat, mainly because Max Verstappen is a machine and their strategy guy might actually be a wizard. Mercedes? They ruled the last decade, but now they're kind of like that rock band doing reunion tours. Still good, but not quite top of the charts. Ferrari is, well, Ferrari. Beautiful cars, beautiful drivers, and race strategies apparently written by throwing darts at a board. McLaren's the cool kid team. Young, flashy, social media savvy. Aston Martin is the billionaire's revenge project. Alpine is the confused French cousin. Williams is trying to remember what winning feels like. Sauber is a name changer's dream. AlphaTauri is Red Bull's fashion-forward little sibling. And Haas, well, they're American. Their strategy? Pray to Gene Haas and hope something works. The season is made up of a bunch of Grand Prix races held all over the world. We're talking Monaco's street circuit, Monza's Temple of Speed, Silverstone's historic twists. Each track a unique beast, demanding different things from the cars and drivers. It's like a global tour of asphalt and adrenaline. How do they decide who's the champion? Simple, points. First place gets 25, second gets 18, then 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. If you finish outside the top 10, you get a big fat goose egg. 0, zip, nada. The driver with the most points at the end of the year wins the Drivers' Championship, and the team with the most combined points wins the Constructors' Championship. But what about the actual star of the show, the car itself? These drivers are handling literal rocket ships on wheels, pulling up to 6 Gs in a corner, which is more than a fighter jet. This is where things get nerdy, but in a cool explosions and speed kind of way. First up, aerodynamics, or aero. This is the holy grail. It's all about how the air flows over, under and around the car. The more downforce, the more grip. Think of it like an inverted airplane wing trying to push the car into the ground. Front wings, rear wings, barge boards, floor designs. It's all witchcraft and science working together to make these things stick to the track like superglue on a hot day. This is why you hear commentators obsessing over dirty air. Following another car too closely messes up your aero, making it harder to overtake. It's like trying to run through quicksand when you're drafting. Then there's the engine, or what they now call a power unit. Gone are the days of simple V8s. Now we have incredibly complex hybrid systems combining a tiny 1.6 litre V6 turbo engine that somehow pushes over 1,000 horsepower with multiple electric motors and energy recovery systems. Yes, they recover energy from braking and exhaust gases. It's like your Prius, but on steroids, a strict diet of rocket fuel, and a bad attitude. These things are marvels of engineering, limited to a certain number per season, and if you go over, you get grid penalties. Nobody wants a grid penalty. The steering wheel looks like it was built by NASA. It has more buttons than your TV remote. Drivers adjust brake balance, energy deployment, fuel modes, and maybe tweet mid-race. All of this tech leads us to the most crucial element of all, the tyres. In Formula One, your entire race can hinge on the right tyre call. Pirelli supplies all the tyres each weekend, offering different compounds. Softs are the fastest, but burn out quickly, kind of like that friend who's a blast but fades fast. Mediums strike a good balance of speed and durability, your reliable daily driver, while hards are the slowest but last forever, like an old, dependable tractor tyre. And then, for when the heavens open, you've got inters for light rain and wets for monsoon conditions. Basically, putting on your rain boots, but at 200 miles per hour. Here's the twist. In dry races, every driver must use at least 2 different compounds. That means a pit stop is mandatory. If it rains though, all bets are off. It's inters or full wets. So that's the mechanical marvel that is the F1 car. But how do they actually use these beasts to, race? Well, a Grand Prix isn't just Sunday, it's a whole weekend spectacle. The Grand Prix weekend actually kicks off with the practice sessions. That's free practice 1, 2 and 3. Think of these as glorified test days where teams fine-tune their super fast machines, drivers get a feel for the track, and engineers pore over data like mad scientists. It's basically homework before the big exam. Not exactly edge of your seat stuff, but totally essential. Then comes qualifying, and this is where the magic really happens on Saturday. It's all about setting the starting order for Sunday's main event. It kicks off with Q1, where all 20 cars hit the track. After 18 minutes, the slowest 5 drivers are out. Next up is Q2, and the remaining 15 cars battle it out for 15 minutes. Again, the slowest 5 get the boot. See ya. Finally, we get to Q3, where the top 10 cars duke it out for pole position. That's first place on the grid, in a thrilling 12-minute showdown. This is pure, unadulterated speed porn, and snagging pole is huge because in F1, track position is absolutely king. And then finally, on Sunday, it's race day. This all starts with the formation lap, where the cars just slowly cruise around the track, warming up those super sticky tyres and giving everything one last check. with no sneaky overtaking here, obviously. After that, they line up on the starting grid. And man, you can practically feel the tension radiating off the screen. What happens next is pure adrenaline. Those 5 red lights illuminate one by one, then they all go out, and that's your signal. It's go time. And don't forget the pit stops, where drivers periodically dive into the pit lane to swap out tyres or fix a ding. A good pit stop is like an insane synchronized ballet of mechanics, all done in under 2.5 seconds. Seriously, faster than you can tie your shoes. But mess it up and a bad pit stop can absolutely ruin a driver's race or even their entire weekend. So you've got the cars and you've got the race weekend all figured out. But now let's talk about the real brain power behind the whole operation. This is where F1 transforms from just a high-speed parade into a full-blown chess game played at 200 miles per hour. You've got the DRS, or the drag reduction system, which is basically your best friend for overtaking. It's a clever flap on the rear wing that opens up, cutting down on drag and giving the car a burst of speed. You can only use it in specific DRS zones on the track, and only if you're less than a second behind the car in front at a detection point. Think of it like a temporary turbo boost, but you've got to be close enough to practically sniff their exhaust fumes. Then, if there's a big crash or debris on the track, the safety car comes out. This bunches up the whole field, slows everyone down, and stops actual racing. It's a double-edged sword. Great for clearing the track, but terrible if you had a big lead, and even worse if you just pitted and now everyone else gets a free pit stop. A bit like the safety car, but without a physical car on track, is the virtual safety car, VSC. Here, the cars maintain specific time gaps to each other, slowing down but without bunching up. It's kind of like hitting pause on the race, but only for a moment. And oh, the penalties. Track limits violations, going off track, impeding other drivers, unsafe releases in the pit lane, speeding in the pit lane, causing collisions. The list goes on. These range from 5-second time additions to grid drops or even disqualification. The stewards, who are the race officials, are like those grumpy teachers, always watching. But ultimately, races are often won or lost on strategy. Do you go for a 1-stop, 2-stop, or even 3-stop race? When's the best time to pit? Which tyres should you use? Do you undercut, pit earlier to get on fresher tyres and try to gain track position? Or overcut, stay out longer on older tyres, hoping to gain time if others pit into traffic? It's a constant gamble influenced by tyre wear, track position, weather, and what the rivals are doing. Honestly, it's like playing poker, but with millions of dollars on the line and absolutely no ability to bluff. These drivers are absolute mad lads, not just good at driving, but elite athletes pushing their bodies and minds to the limit. They endure insane G-forces for 2 hours in scorching heat, requiring tree trunk necks and incredible core strength. Beyond the physical, their mental fortitude is astounding, making split-second decisions at 200 miles per hour with massive pressure, while raw talent is crucial. It's their consistency, racecraft, and sheer determination that truly make them the modern gladiators of F1. The drivers are amazing, but honestly, they're just one piece of a colossal puzzle. Behind every driver is a small army of dedicated individuals, the teams themselves. You've got the team principal, like Guenther Steiner, who's the boss, making the big calls. Then there are the engineers, the unsung heroes, constantly analysing data and guiding the drivers. Basically, the brains of the operation. Don't forget the mechanics, the pit stop heroes who can change all 4 tyres in under 2.5 seconds. They're pure muscle, speed, and precision, like superheroes with wrenches. And finally, back at the factory, hundreds of people are tirelessly designing, manufacturing, testing, and developing every single component year-round. It's a non-stop cycle of innovation. And finally, because F1 wouldn't be F1 without it, let's talk about the unwritten rules and all that delicious drama. We're talking epic rivalries like Hamilton and Verstappen that spill off the track, making for incredible entertainment. It's Shakespearean tragedy and comedy, but with more carbon fibre. Then there's the constant politics, team principals squabbling, drivers throwing shade, the governing body making controversial decisions. It's a high-stakes thriller. Sometimes, though, it's just plain old luck. A random puncture or mechanical failure can be brutal. But through it all, the sheer passion, that raw emotion of a win or a crowd's roar, is why we watch, and it's absolutely intoxicating. This sport is pure adrenaline and genius. So if you love this ride and want more deep dives into the world of F1, hit that like button harder than a Red Bull pit stop, comment on what you want us to explain next, and definitely subscribe to F1 Focus. And remember, Formula One isn't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. See you at Lights Out.